It is 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Some stores are watching this Monday, September 29. The PNP confirms that the Mandaluyong court has issued an arrest warrant against former PCSO General Manager Royina Garma and 4 other people. This is over the 2020 killing of PCSO Board Secretary Wesley Barayuga and the shooting of his driver in Mandaluyong City. The case is non-bailable. The last known whereabouts of Garma was in Malaysia, where, according to the DOJ, she was supposed to have met with ICC representatives to testify against former President Rodrigo Duterte. The Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or the ICI, has recommended the filing of criminal and administrative cases against Ako Bicol Congressman Zaldico and several public works officials. That's over the 289.5 million peso flood control project in Nauhan, Oriental Mindoro. The Commission's interim report to the Ombudsman cites possible violations of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, the procurement law, the Code of Conduct for Public Officials, malversation, and falsification of documents. Today, September 29, is the deadline set with the House leadership for Co to return to the Philippines.
Former PNP Chief General Rodolfo Azurin Jr. has been appointed Special Advisor and Investigator of the Independent Commission for Infrastructure. The palace said Azurin's experience and leadership will strengthen the Commission's drive for accountability and transparency in infrastructure projects. The former top cop replaces Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong, who of course resigned from the ICI. The palace later thanked Magalong for his service and contributions to safeguarding the Commission's integrity. And Senate President Tito Soto clarifies that amendments or insertions made during Senate budget deliberations are part of the regular legislative process. He lamented that the issue of ghost and substandard flood control projects has unfairly cast doubt on all types of amendments. Soto assured the public that the Senate will introduce reforms in the 2026 budget to promote transparency, accountability, and greater people's participation. The statement comes on the heels of Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson's revelation that almost all senators had insertions for the 2025 spending period.
And joining us today is Storycon's resident political pundit, or what do we call him this time? Animal, Ronald Llamas.
Pundit at large because he's not here.
Anong background mo? Para ka na sa photo me.
Alam ko sasabihin.
Update mo naman yung reference mo, Bok.
Mukha siya na sa photo me.
Mukha siya magte-testify. You look like you're in a court somewhere.
Abi, inaalas ka. Naka-photo me daw. Actually, wala na
Philippine Star ka ba?
ng photo me.
Okay, my apologies. Sa Philippine Star pala siya.
Ayun, nagbe-blend tayo. Now we're all blue. We're blending into the background. Okay, since you mentioned Amy, also from the Philippine Star, let's bring in Editor-in-Chief Amy Pamintuan. Oh, naka-blue din.
Oo nga eh. Hi everyone, happy Monday.
What a blue Monday.
Ang lakas ng araw. Ang araw-araw kanina, bigla na naman umulan ngayon. Talagang gustong magalit ng tuloy-tuloy mga tao. Baha na naman daw doon, no? Many parts of Metro Manila.
Malakas ang ulan kanina.
Malakas sa
Pero pag nasa kuweba ka, hindi mo mararamdaman yung lakas ng ulan. Pag nasa kuweba ka.
Parang may gusto ka na sabihin.
Kaya nga, sabihin mo na lang straight. Ano ba yon? What is it? What do you want to say, Mr. Llamas?
Kailan ba ako nagsabi ng straight?
Okay, wait. Before we get away from the topic, let's a bit of breaking news just this afternoon. Si Congressman Zaldico has resigned as a member of the House of Representatives. Kakapasok lang ng resignation letter niya just now. I will read part of it. He says, on account of the real, direct, grave, and imminent threat to the lives of my family members and me and the evident denial of my right to due process of law, I'm constrained to tender with immediate effect my irrevocable resignation as a member of the House of Representatives. That's the first part of it. Then there's a second part where he responds to the letter complaint filed by Congressman Toby Tiangco. Remember, Congressman Tiangco filed an ethics complaint against him. And the second part of Congressman Co's response, first he says, I categorically deny these baseless accusations. I did not mastermind, tolerate, or allow any supposed last-minute insertions and realignments in items in the 2025 GAA. It is improbable, if not absolutely impossible, that I, on my own, could make any supposed insertions without the knowledge or approval of the members of both chambers of Congress. So, again, a categorical denial from Zaldico, who, as we were just saying, so the statement goes on, he addresses it in 3 sections, but the pertinent point here today is that he has resigned as a member of the House of Representatives.
But he's getting away on technicality. He's saying basically that all the insertions were approved by the plenary, which is of course true.
But who made them is the question.
Yeah, because in the end, everything had to be approved by ratification. So whatever insertions were made in the small committee or in the BICAM were eventually, of course, approved in plenary through the ratification process. So that also skips that.
At sinong pumirma ng GAA?
Yeah, and yun nga. And also, i-pointed out na pinirmahan mo ng GA ng Pangulo. So, sa huli, inaprubahan.
Although we
So,
know that...
hindi siya umuwi, pero ayan, nag-resign. Ang pumalit sa kanya is Antonio Gardina.
As, the head of the party?
Sa ako Bicol Party List Representative.
Yes.
So, ang tanong dyan, kapag ganyan hindi ka na gobyerno, hahabulin ka pa ba ng... Meron kasing record tong ombudsman natin na pag nagre-resign, ayaw nang habulin.
Well, technically, accountable pa yun, Bok. Kasi these are acts that were supposed to have been done while in office. So,
While in office,
if you follow the law, then the law can and should still go after.
Follow the law.
Yeah. That's a big
Tinatanong ko
condition.
lang yun kasi remember, yung ghost employee sa monetary board, nung nag-resign, wala na, nakalimutan na ng mundo. Sabi ng Malacanang, ombudsman.
Naglaho na para multo.
Sabi ng
Kaya
monetary
ghost
board,
employee.
hindi na namin mahahabol dahil nag-resign. Tanongin nyo ang Malacanang. Tinanong ang Malacanang, sabi ng Malacanang, it's up to the ombudsman. Kaya yan, tinatanong ko, ano mangyayari dyan?
Pero tama naman yung logic ng letter niya. Na hindi niya ito magagawa ng walang connivance ng both houses at iba pang matataas na tao sa gobyerno. Kanya nga, kung makikita naman natin yung mga nangyari, natanggal ang Senate President, natanggal ang Speaker of the House. Ngayon lang yata ako nakakita na halos sabay, dalawa natanggal Senate President at saka Speaker of the House. Mismo yung Secretary ng DPWH natanggal at malamang makasuhan. At iba pang mga mahalagang mga opisyales ng gobyerno. So in a way, totoo yung sinasabi niya na hindi niya ito magagawa without the connivance of other high government officials in both houses. Nasa ngayon ay nasa gitna ng isang napakalawak at napakalalim na investigasyon sa mga taong ito.
But going back to the reasons he gave for the resignation, number 1, real, direct, grave, imminent threat to the lives of my family members and me. And number 2, evident denial of my right to the process of law. Yun ang kanyang dalawang...
Parang non-sequitur. Parang non-sequitur yun di ba? Dahil ang dapat sigurong dahilan is to protect the institution. Dapat yun ang dahilan. Dahil whether he likes it or not, whether guilty siya o hindi, ay dinadrag down niya yung institusyon ng Kongreso. Yun yung pinakamahalagang dahilan na sana nakasama sa letter.
Yeah.
Dahil yung safety, yung iba pang mga sinabi niya, parang non-sequitur, doesn't follow Parang ano ba magagawa ng resignation in relation doon?
If you're in danger, why will you resign? Diba?
Saka if you want due process, bakit di ka umuwi dito and face the charges against you?
Well,
Ano ka mag-due process kung nandiyan ka abroad?
that part seems to have been addressed by his letter. Clearly, he doesn't believe that he's going to get due process here. Yun yung second reason yan, right? Evident denial of my right.
You're not getting due process and then you cannot get due process. Anong gagawin natin? Diba?
Parang may echo yung audio ni Ami
Mamimigay, you either face the court for due process or paano siya mabibigyan ng due process wala siya rito?
Ami, baka ma-fault
Dito nga sa
yung
Storycon,
microphone mo.
wala akong due process eh.
Is that right? Kaya nag-zoom ka na lang. Because you're not getting due process here.
Grabe siya. Due process. Ano naman due process?
Lagi na lang guilty. Lagi na lang guilty.
The other big story over the
Wait,
weekend.
sorry. Before we close off this Zaldico resignation, there's a paragraph here na I'm sure you guys, especially Ronald, will find interesting. Sabi niya, I deny that my family and I indulge in extravagant or ostentatious displays of wealth in the eye of the public. Our lifestyles have not changed from before I became a public official up to now. My wife and children keep away from the media, and they certainly do not display what we own to the public. While I do have postings through media, these are focused on the various projects of the Ako Bicol party list. My family and I do not also live beyond our means.
Baka matagal na nilang kayamanan yon. At saka, alam mo, the rich are not like you and me eh. Kailangan paki-define nga yung ostentation.
So, naman
Yung
magsalita
mga
ni Ami.
yung mga jets, private jets, yung mga first class trip to Europe. Siguro normal lang sa kanilang lifestyle yan.
Well, I guess it's relative.
It's all relative. You're right. The rich are not like you and me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to be fair, the so-called nepo baby who's gone viral is not his daughter, it's his niece, right? Anak ng kapatid niyang si Christopher Quito Ko, who was also previously congressman, if I recall correctly, and who is who's one of the co-founders of High Tone Construction and Sun West. Per the records that have been dug up.
Saka wala namang $1 million na sing-sing yung kanyang asawa, di ba?
Versus who?
Okay, Bok, but next question is, so how do you get him home?
He doesn't want to come home kasi nga may threat to the life.
Well, he's on the Interpol blue
Kapareho din ni
notice.
Sino yung kinuha natin sa Timor-Leste?
Yeah. Well, he's on
Kasi
the
Ami,
Interpol.
mukhang yung letter niya, sinaset yung predicate na hindi muna siya babalik.
Oo nga.
Yeah.
May threat to his life eh.
But he's on the Interpol blue notice now. So it's since there are
It's a watch notice.
charges filed against him, it's up to the authorities if they will elevate that to a red notice.
Red.
Right? So
Pwede na siyang anuhin ngayon dahil under investigation.
correct.
Pero kung may resources ka, you can stay hidden for quite a while. Ang problema ko kasi wala akong resources eh. Kung may resources ako, hindi na rin ako makikita.
Akala ko dahil mong safe house. Di ko
Ang
sabi ko saan, di
problema
ba?
ngayon, yung mga ang dami kasing Pilipino all over the planet,
Yes.
inuunan siya wherever he goes eh.
Correct.
Kaya nga. Oo.
Yan ang problema niya ngayon.
Yeah. So even
Nowhere
now,
to hide.
even now, may mga screenshots going around on social media showing that he's due to come back to Singapore in early October. And these people are posting yung, screenshots of the flight details, screenshots of the check-in details at the hotel, and so on and so forth. So talagang, they don't even blur out his personal details, no? So,
Pero pwede kasing, Reg, pwede ka kasing magbayad ng look-alike eh. Para i-confuse mo yung mga naghahanap sa'yo.
Ano, parang si Saddam.
Hirap lang talaga maglagay ng look-alike, si Manny Mugato eh. Ang hirap maghanap ng look-alike nun.
Medyo mahirap-hirap yun.
and also, my question, Ami, you said si Congressman Garbin is taking his place, but Congressman Garbin is himself a congressman already, right?
Congressman na siya ngayon.
Oo nga. So,
Bilang first nominee, I think first nominee.
so,
Yung hintay natin, yung
Yung
sino
number
yung susunod
3,
na iba.
aakyat.
Right.
Yung number 3 nila,
Kung sino yung aakyat.
yung number 2.
so si Congressman Garbin will become first nominee, and number 2 is, wala pa.
Yung
Wala pa
number
so
3,
far.
yung number 3 ang aakyat. Ano, dalawa ang kanilang,
yung number 3.
dalawa ang kanilang seat eh.
Ah,
Okay.
yan yung iniintay natin.
So that means they will be minting a new congressman.
Okay, ang number 1 was Zaldico, number 2 was Garbin, number 3 was is John Franz Norberto Joselito Almario Chan. Aba, ang pangalan.
Yan ang magiging yan yung susunod
Yun ang
na
aakyat.
congressman.
Siya yung magiging congressman taking
Second
over
nominee,
Garbin's
oo.
position.
They have options naman kasi if the third one gives way to the fourth one gives way to
Yeah, that's true.
can always
It's
do
not.
that.
Up to the party yata yan.
Yeah.
Basta may meron sila dapat na tao doon.
Sampu yung nasa list.
Oo, 10.
Kung halimbawa, yung siyam ay sasakitan siyan at hindi na makakabalik sa Kongreso, yung ika-10 pwedeng umakyat.
Elizabeth
Theoretically.
Salcedo Co.
Hypothetically speaking, right? Okay, sorry, Bok. You wanted to move on to the next
No.
item.
It's actually the same issue. Si Magalong over the weekend, well, of course, everybody knows he resigned nung Friday from the ICI. Nung weekend kasi naglabas siya ng statement saying na recent developments have, I'm paraphrasing, cast doubts on the independence of the ICI. So meron siyang pitik.
Yung
Meron
press
siyang
con
pitik.
ni Claire Castro.
Oo.
Kasalanan yan, tanong kayo ng tanong kasi. Tinatanong tungkol dun sa tennis court sa Baguio. Kasalanan na ng media.
Laging kasalanan ng media yan.
Hindi. Si Ami lang.
Sinabi,
Si Ami lang.
Siyempre, standard answer naman yung kay Claire, no, na kapag may ganyan, di titignan natin, iimbestigahan, medyo sumama yata yung loob niya.
Nagpadala siya nagpadala siya ng meme kanina eh.
Minura ni Juan eh. Kanina nga, minura ni Marcoleta yung isang nag-i-interview sa kanyang media.
Ay, oh. Anong
Ayun,
station?
yun, sa pang-istorya yung for today.
Bakit daw, Ronald?
Ha? Nagpaliwanag na daw siya.
Insinuation na
Wala siyang kinalaman. Bakit kinukulit pa siya?
Hindi.
Kaya,
Ano daw, yung wife is an independent director of the insurance company that insured or that provided the bond for for the Discaya project.
Company. Independent naman daw.
Napikon.
So may
Independent.
back and forth sila.
Rinig yung mura niya.
But yung si Marcoleta has been arguing, the family's been arguing na independent director yung wife na si Edna Marcoleta and therefore hindi siya, I don't know, organically part of the company.
Ano ba? Hindi
Is
ko alam
that
yun
how it works,
Ano
Bok?
ba yan? Tama ba yung argument na yan, Ronald?
Yeah.
Well, ang ibig sabihin ng independent, hindi siya organic to sa company.
Correct.
Usually kasi ang board of director, nanggagaling sa company yung mga director, di ba? Minsan kumukuha sila ng outside do sa
Outsiders.
company, pandagdag para
May third
siya
party.
yung tinatawag na independent. Pero some are more independent than others. Yung iba ay kinukuha para masigurado na boboto pa rin in favor of the company. No?
Kaya nga. May voting rights pa rin siya. Tama ba yun, Reg?
Well,
May voting rights pa rin even if you're an independent director.
May voting rights. May voting rights talaga.
not voting rights for the in relation to the operations of the day-to-day operations of the company. So, for instance, these independent directors can't vote on, say, okay, do we give a contract to such and such company, right? And as Ronald said, not all independent directors are equal. Some are more independent than others. We don't know any situation doon. The point, I think, the larger point remains that he didn't disclose these. Right? Kasi yung insurance company that's in question, I think that was Stronghold and Milestone Guarantee, they insured one of the projects that have been proven to be a ghost project by both Secretary Vince Dizon and Senator Ping Lacson, which is yung flood control project in Sitio Dique, Nauhan, Oriental Mindoro.
But what does that mean? When they insured the project, that means that they are supposed to be held liable. They're supposed to pay up in case the project fails or does not push through?
In case
may band yung mga mga proyekto na yan eh. Halimbawa, masira in 5 years, babayaran yan.
Parang warranty.
No?
It's called a surety bond, yes.
So parang warranty. So this insurance company is supposed to pay up in the event that something goes wrong with the project?
Yes.
Yes.
So the government will in theory, should be able to reclaim some of the money back from the insurers. It's not going to be the whole amount. It's going to be a percentage of the project cost. Hindi ko alam how much in this case. But the larger question there for Senator Marcoleta is, why didn't you disclose it in the first place? So now it looks like parang tinago mo pa or something. And by the way, credit where credit is due, this story first appeared on Billionario, of course. And then nagre-react lang si Senator Marcoleta to that expose by Billionario. But
in that case, I'm just at top of my head lang. In that case, does the insurance company have anything to do with the contract itself or with the project itself?
No, you're just insuring it, just like you would insure a house, right? If the house
burns down or gets damaged in a flood or a tornado, yun lang ang insurance company. Hindi siya yung nag-build ng house.
Hindi siya yung build ng
Wala rin
house.
sa kanila sa
And wala siyang responsibility to audit it. Unless, I mean, of course, they would likely send insurers, right? Much the same way that if you're insuring a building for fire protection, they would send
yun lang. I wonder lang if the insurance company would have or should have inspected the project and made sure that it was up to par or it was completed. Would that be part of the
Hindi
deal?
ko alam if that's how it works with public infrastructure. I don't know if Ronald knows. With private establishments, yes, they would send somebody, obviously, to...
Kasi that would be interesting if that was the case.
Because that's their insurer's liability, right? If you were insuring a whole building, you would go and
Gusto mong tingnan muna tinayo ba talaga o ano?
Does it have enough fire protection provisions, for instance, right? Or flooding provisions and so on and so forth.
Kaya ngayon, nililink ng ibang tao, yung away kanina ni Marcoleta na napamura yata ng konti, dun sa tanong last week ni Ping Lacson sa kanya, bakit parang pinoproteksyonan mo yung mga diskaya? Ayan yung mga ano ngayon, talagang Siguro kaya ayaw i-open yung ICI yan. O ano lumalabas
Lalo na, si Mon Tulfo, nilabas more than a week ago. Nabasa mo yun, yung kanyang article? Yung sinabi niya na si Marcoleta daw ay nabigyan daw ng alleged na pera ng 150M para dalhin sa witness protection ng mga diskaya. Yun yung sinasabi niya. That was more than a week ago. At ang hiningi daw niya ay mas
yung
malaki
away nun nila ni Ping, di ba?
Oo.
Yung witness protection for the diskaya.
Yes. Kaya
But just make clear po that's from
kaya
Mon
nung
Tulfo.
binanatan ni Ping Lacson si Marcoleta, yun yung context. Ba't mo dinedepensahan yung mga diskaya? Yun yung shadow nung column ni Mon Tulfo.
Kaya nagkapikunan. Si Simon, kaibigan niya ng mga Duterte,
Okay. May matitira pa ba sa tao na?
Okay, so the third big breaking news today is Senator Escudero giving a privileged speech at the Senate about an hour ago when plenary started. Paano ko ba summarize to, Bok? Basically, he took off the
Away na
gloves.
si Martin.
Yes, he took off the gloves and declared an all-out war with former Speaker Martin Romualdez. Kasi this privileged speech was all about bakit hindi kasama si Martin Romualdez dito, right? So sabi niya, inungkat ang issue of campaign donation against him, bakit ako lang ang inimbestigahan, right? So he also questioned, which is curious, in his speech as well, it sounded like he didn't know that bawal ang campaign donations from government contractors. It certainly sounded like that.
Ang paliwanag niya, Reg, ay hindi naman daw crime na tumanggap. Ang may crime daw yung nagbigay.
It is very
Yung
much...
doni. Na ang alam ko, hindi ganun yung kaso.
The Omnibus
hindi ganun
Election
yung-
Code is very clear on that, and he's a lawyer.
Yes.
Right? He came from, if I'm not mistaken, UP. So somebody who graduated from UP should know that, right? I'm just,
Like,
Taga-UST.
you would think. Malinaw naman yung Omnibus Election Code, and honestly, it's not that long.
Pero po kasi if you take it from the statements made so far by Comelec Chairman Garcia, his focus has been on the contractors.
I know, which is why we've been pressing him.
Not on the Not on the
politicians.
donees, the donors ang pinupuntira niya. So, yan. Let's take a look nga Section 95.
Okay, you take a look. I'll continue the rest of my summary. So,
Chairman
Salita na
Garcia
yung
sa atin,
taga-UP.
di ba? Di ba sinabi sa atin ni Chairman Garcia, actually, medyo gray area yan. At kung pupunta daw sa kanila, ang posisyon niya, yung contractor saka yung may-ari, pareho. Parehong liable.
correct. Yeah, correct. So,
yan ang sabi niya.
coming back to Senator Cheese's privileged speech today, he also took offense at former DPWH Sec Roberto Bernardo name dropping him. Sabi niya, this is all selective justice and mob justice. Senators are being thrown off the cliff while the real perpetrators are getting away. Mukhang nilalaglag na daw si Congressman Zaldico at the moment, and suddenly a name that he called it he who cannot be named and is now being voiced out loud, which is Martin Romualdez. Senator Cheese even played a short video clip of people chanting Martin Magnanakaw, believe it or not. He played that short video clip at the privileged speech today. Bakit daw nawala? After Bryce Hernandez said ang laman ng computer niya ay puro congressman, not senators, bakit daw nawala yung interest to find the rest of the other names? But when the lawyer said there were 6 senators, everybody was going going wild, guessing who these are. So he feels like it's a witch hunt. He says, are we truly for accountability or merely offering sacrificial lambs? He says he will, and he is already talking to his lawyers, and he will file charges. But again, he kept coming back to the point about bakit walang kasamang congressman sa investigations and wag daw sundan ang script ni Martin Romualdez. There's only one person behind this, and he says that's Martin Romualdez. So it was a very inflammatory, highly charged, privileged speech by Senator Escudero today.
Banggit niya yung sing-sing.
Wala. No mention of
Hintay
that.
pa natin yung reaction naman ni Congressman Romualdez, kasi pwede din naman siya mag-privilege speech.
Pero ang problema kasi sa ganyan klaseng framework, Reg, ay parang nahuli ka nag-jaywalking. Ang depensa mo, ba't yung iba nag-jaywalking
hindi naman ako,
Hindi
Yeah.
nahuli.
Yeah.
Parang ganun eh.
Yeah. You're right. Kasi,
Parang whataboutism.
oo. Because he kept coming back to, bakit ako lang? Bakit ako lang ay inimbestigahan? Bakit it's just my name that's being dropped? Bakit, yun nga. So for instance, with the, his point, he made the point about the 6 senators. And remember, guys, dito nag-umpisa yun sa Storycon when his lawyer...
Kasalanan ninyo yan.
Yes, when his lawyer, Attorney Fortun, Raymond Fortun, told us there were at least 6 senators that will likely be implicated based on the evidence from Bryce Hernandez's computer. That made the news, that made a lot of headlines, right? So people online started making memes of making posts about guessing who the rest of these 6 senators are. But then a few days later, Bryce Hernandez himself disputed that. Sabi niya, mas maraming congressman ang laman ng computer niya. I don't think any of the media outlets, eased up on that story, right? We were still looking and reporting it as we should. Hindi naman nawala yung interest. I'm not sure where Senator Cheese is getting that idea na nawala na yung interest after sinabi ni Bryce na it was mostly congressmen and not senators in his computer. So we kept reporting it, we kept at it, we kept chasing congressmen, we kept chasing all of these names, every single name that's come up, we kept chasing them for answers. Pero wala nobody is talking. It's very hard to get the district representatives to talk at this point.
Ang focus kasi sa House, kay Saldico Ang focus sa House kay Saldico, although yun na nga, yung witness ni Senator Marcoleta, whatever you say about them, meron ding mga naniwala, di ba? In fact, nagrereklamo na yata yung ibang tao sa kampo niya. Bakit daw pinapatulan yon?
Yeah. Wait, we've just finished cutting up a soundbite of Chiz. Take a listen.
Kung kayo ay kakampi ni Martin Romualdez, pues sumunod kayo sa gusto nila. Una, maniwala kayo sa mga sinasabi ng testigo niya na nagtuturo lamang sa mga senador. Pangalawa, ibuhos niyo ang galit niyo sa Senado at ng mga senador at palayo kay Martin at sa mga congressman. Pangatlo, pagdudahan at sirain niyo si Sergeant Gutesa na bukod tanging hindi nakinabang at walang bahid at hiningi anumang kapalit sa pagsabi ng katotohanan. Pangapat, huwag niyong payagang mabanggit man lang ang pangalan ni Martin Romualdez. Panglima, huwag niyong payagang ipatawag si Martin Romualdez sa anumang investigasyon. Pang-anim, huwag niyong payagang imbestigahan si Martin Romualdez at mga kasamahan niya saan mang lugar. Ako, Ginoong Pangulo, hindi ako kakampi ni Martin Romualdez.
And again, he closes off by saying, wag maniniwala sa script ni Martin Romualdez, it is all zarzuela. That is straight from Senator Cheese-Escudero's mouth.
Well, it's not the first time nagbabanggaan sila. Kasi remember, 2 weeks ago, hinihingi ng isang senador yung resignation ni
But this is
Speaker.
the most open, blatant show of, antagonism, right? Parang, when was the last time Senator Cheese-Escudero made a privileged speech even?
No, I'm not referring to Chis, I was referring to Amy Marcos.
Si Amy.
Remember when she called on congressmen to remove Martin Romualdez?
Called on the House. Napalitan yung leadership nila. Yeah. But this is...
Pero tahimik si Cheese since natanggal siya as Senate President, di ba? Ngayon lang talaga siya nagsalita ng
Kaya
ganyan.
nga.
At gulping-gulpi siya sa social media.
Nung natanggal siya, he gave a speech binakbakan rin niya si Romualdez referring to the script, referring to he made references to Romualdez when he was taken out when Tito Soto was
Gulpi siya sa kwan Gulping-gulpi siya sa social media this past 2 weeks, especially si Kaya
Kaya na sila na dinidiscredit nga daw yung Gutesa who provided direct testimony against Romualdez. Hindi naman, nilabas pa rin naman ng lahat son, di ba? Yung istorya yun. Kaya lang, hindi nga, iniimbestigahan pa nga, bine-verify pa nga ngayon yung kasi bigla-bigla daw pinasok, nagalit shipping Lacson. Hindi wala man lang buyer leave nung perinisin pa sa Blue Ribbon. Yan. Kaya bine-verify pa daw nila yung pagkatao ng Mr. Gutesa na yon.
May pahayag na si
nila sa NBI. Iniintay nila sa NBI 2 days ago para magsampa ng kaso. Hindi dumating. Diba? Hindi dumating. Kailangan magsampa ng kaso
Anyway, may pahayag na si Congressman Romualdez naglabas ng statement ng kanyang opisina.
Ang bilis ng statements these days. No? The statements are flying.
Siyempre naman, binakbakan ka naman ng
Sige.
privilege speech.
Okay, go ahead.
I listened to the privilege speech of Senator Cheese-Escudero. With respect, what we heard was not an expose but a DDS script. The same recycled accusations we have long seen on troll pages and social media posts. Walang bago at wala ring katotohanan. Instead of answering the serious questions he himself must face, Senator Escudero chose to deflect. He did not deny the allegations against him. He did not explain his own role in flood control kickbacks, imbes na magpaliwanag na nisi siya. Malino naman ang katotohanan, ang talumpati ni Senator Escudero ay hindi tungkol sa pananagutan, kundi para isulong ang kanyang personal na ambisyon. It was a performance designed to profess loyalty and service to VP Sara Duterte and to position himself as her ally for 2028. Ang tunay na pinagsisilbihan ay hindi ang katotohanan, kundi ang sariling interes at plano sa politika. 2028 na reference.
Interesting ako, di ba, Ed? Interesting na panoorin yung away ng isang ex-Senate President at saka ex-Speaker.
Labanan ng mga ex.
This is what I'm saying. It's all-out war. I mean, look at how fast they issued statement, right? And itong si Senator Cheese-Escudero, you should listen to the rest of his speech. He was very aggressive towards Speaker Romualdez.
There's nobody more bitter than an ex. So pag naglaban ng dalawang ex, gera pa
nice mo ipaghiwatig, Ed.
May line here about deflecting, and that may be true. But let's not forget that they both presided over the 2025 GAA over the 2025
Sila
budget.
nakapirma doon eh.
Both of them signed off on
sila yung
it.
naging casualties. Sila yung
Both
naging
of them.
casualties.
Oh. Hindi, sila yung head ng two chambers that passed the GAA.
Correct.
2024 and 2025, sila nakapirma doon. Imposible, they're either incompetent or they're negligent na nakapasa yung mga questionable insertions na yun doon. Di ba?
Kasalanan nga ng
Ang
media.
ginawa ng
Kasalanan ng media.
ang explanation naman ng Malacanang dahil nga pinirmahan ni President Marcos with a token veto, hindi naman daw nila ni-release yung pondo. Dahil para lang daw wag maano, yun ang explanation ng Malacanang. Para daw wag magkaroon ng reenacted budget which is also open to corruption, pinirmahan, umandar yung gobyerno, hindi nila ni-release yung mga questionable na insertion.
Tapos yung
Kasalanan
hirit
nga
pa na
amin
ano.
ng media. Dahil nilabas nyo kasi lahat yan. Kaya natanggal tuloy sila. Kasalanan niya ng media eh.
We're just
Dapat kasi
reporting.
tago na lang yan eh.
We were just reporting.
Tapos yung hirit na
The
it was a
messenger.
performance designed to profess loyalty and service to VP Duterte and position himself as her ally for 2028. Eh, paano na yung ano? Di ba siya yung tagahawak ng wine glass ni
Ibig ko rin, ano?
Nakarang ano?
Speaking of VP
Fort
Duterte, by the way, she visited some senators today after they approved her budget for 2026, the OVP budget, I mean. I think Senator Joel posted about it. Sino ba yung dinalaw? Si Senator Jinggoy as well.
Pareho din nung sa House, hindi na nila greenil siya. Kasi wala naman mga dagdag, wala nang confidential fund. So they approved the budget already. Pareho ng House.
It's a little over 900 million this year for 2026, minus the confidential funds.
Yes. Kaya pareho sila ng House na okay na yung budget.
But I don't know what do we make of her doing the rounds at the Senate, Ronald? Yung pagdalaw ni VP Sara sa ibang mga senador.
Makakakampi naman talaga niya yun. Makipagkwentuhan lang siguro.
Siyempre,
Mga supporter niya yan.
Siyempre, nag-consolidate din siya ng mga forces. Lalo na ngayon, medyo natabunan yung kanyang impeachment. Natabunan si Piatos.
Actually,
Kaya,
oo nga.
She's relishing.
Makes you wonder today what's gonna happen in February next year. Kung
She's relishing the
mare-resurrect.
moment. Diba?
Tsaka
Diba sabi
also,
ni Toby Franco, bakit niyo pa ba impeach siya? Kaya naman yung talunin. Yun ang takbo yun ang one of the arguments there. Kaya naman talunin, bakit niyo pa gagawin mo kang martyr? So, filean mo na lang ng kaso sa ombudsman or somewhere, whatever. Kung dahil hindi naman yata siya immune from criminal prosecution. Gano'n na lang ang gagawin. Imbis na tanggalin as vice president, yun ang takbo ng argument ni Toby na sabi niya, according to Toby, yun din ang posisyon talaga ni President Marcos. Huwag nyo na lang niyang gawing martyr.
well, the other problem kasi is, in the last few weeks, we've been bombarded by numbers that are incredible. We're talking about billions and trillions. Umabot nga ng
Kaya
trillions.
nga, lumiit bigla
So-
yung confidential fund.
So yung confidential funds, majestic as the numbers may have been sa confidential funds, they're really dwarfed by the numbers we're talking about now. So baka by February,
1%
iba
lang.
ng tingin dyan.
Trillion we're talking trillion.
Oo.
1% lang siya. Less than.
So baka magbago ihip ng hangin sa Kongreso. We don't know. Ano tingin mo, Raul?
Yes, definitely. Dahil una, mas mahirap ng impeachment ngayon. Kung halimbawa, i-reject ng Supreme Court yung motion for reconsideration, ay siyempre, ay napaka-improbable na ng susunod na impeachment. Ikalawa, medyo demoralize yung mga congressmen. Lalo na kung mawawala yung kanilang raffle sa Pasko. Dahil
Talagang
mukhang
raffle sa
ito yung
Pasko.
pinakamalupot na Pasko so far. Isisiro na yung flood control, isisiro na yung mga insertions, etc. No? Kaya magbabago yung tono ng House. At ikatlo, papalapit na lang papalapit sa 2028 elections. At syempre, yung mga kongresista hindi naman karamihan sa kanila yung naniniwala sa higher purpose, gusto nilang i-secure yung kanilang political calculation regarding yung kanilang political future. No? At dahil merong tsansa na manalo si Sara, ayaw nilang i-antagonize yan sigurado. So, yun yung nagbabagong landscape sa House. At siguro sa iba pang mga political organizations and political parties.
Pero Bok, maybe at number 4, would they have the moral ascendancy to go after Sara Duterte and her millions if here we've been talking about billions for the past so many weeks?
Well, dahil Ed, na-link din naman yung Duterte government sa billions if not trillions. Huwag mong kalimutan yung flood control projects na flourished during the previous government. More than 13,000 flood control projects. Tapos lumalabas nga mismo sa distrito ni Pulong may 51 billion in less than 3 years. So ibig sabihin yung confidential fund ni Sara is but the tip of the iceberg. Diba? Kaya hindi siya pwedeng tignan in isolation eh. Meron siyang mga iba pang mga ugnayan.
Gano'n na lang nga gagawin. I-link yung confidential fund issue dun sa flood control issue.
Yeah, but the person on trial will be Sara Duterte. It will not be Rodrigo Duterte or Pulong Duterte. It will be VP Sara on number 1, the threats, and number 2, on the use of her funds.
Hindi,
Yes.
we're talking about 2028 na, di ba? Oh. Kaya nga, yun na lang ang gagawin. Imbis na tanggalin mo yan as VP, sino ipapalit mo? Pag tinanggal mo yan, mabuti nga, natanggal na yung kung sakasakaling matanggal ang VP. Yung mga pagpipilian, medyo nabawasan yung ano. Yan pa, isang tanong dyan eh. Pag inimpeach mo yan at tinanggal mo yung VP, sino ipapalit mo? Oh, noon yun, noon. I'm talking about before. The situation before.
Actually, the president can choose whoever, di ba?
Yeah, parang gingawa na
Pero
case.
Walang line of
normally, meron
succession
kang
sa
ano
VP eh. Walang line of
Normally, may
succession.
hierarchy ka namang susundin, di ba?
Halimbawa dati
Kapag-
si Gingona.
Yeah,
pinalit,
ito
di ba?
gingawa na.
Yeah.
Ay,
Kaya
teka,
nga, sino nga may papalit mo?
Bok,
Sa
teka.
mga senador, sino
Sek-
pagpipilian mo?
Segulo ng konti, we've been talking about the Duterte's anyway already eh. Yung nangyari daw sa The Hague, ano yun? All these reports coming out from the VP side that the former president was found unconscious and that he was not, and the medical issue was not supposedly addressed kagad or they were not informed about it kagad in real time.
Ang problema, Ed, maraming mga fog eh. Medyo foggy eh. Kung maalala mo, last week may naglabas ng balita na parang iga-grant na yung interim release.
Yeah,
Hindi naman
that proved
totoo
to be
yun.
false.
Diba? So, tapos may lumabas din na kwan daw na hindi daw capable ang presidente na humarap. Sabi nung dalawa niyang anak, okay naman siya. Tapos ngayon, nagbabackpedal uli si Sara na, may problema nga. Naging issue rin yung pagdalaw nung ambassador natin sa Netherlands. So, kailangan natin tingnan ano ba talaga nangyayari. Kunin natin yung official na statement ng ICC. Dahil, syempre, yung objective ng defense ay i-cloud yung issue para doon sa kanyang kliyente. No? Kaya yung lumabas sa Manila Times, parang malabo eh. No? Kung pag tinawagan mo yung ICC, iba yung kanilang sinasabi.
Yeah. And the other thing about it is, we know for a fact that there was a consular check last week, right? Di ba nagka-issue nga yun because VP Duterte also issued a statement about it saying that...
But it's also putting her father in danger.
Yeah, the fact that they did a consular check on him without informing the family. And we also now have confirmation that it was the officials from the Philippine Embassy at The Hague that visited former President Duterte at the detention center. The statement from the DFA reads, "This is in line with its functions under the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations and relevant Philippine laws to protect the welfare of all Filipinos. And this is a duty of all Philippine Foreign Service posts and is no different from what the DFA does for other Filipino citizens who are in detention abroad. So hanggang dyan lang yung official statement, but we also know for a fact that they had not flagged any medical concerns at that time.
Did not mention anything. But I do recall, there was an ICC document earlier that said that the former president had to go some scanning. Was it CAT scan or an MRI scan? Because of the assertions that he was having difficulty remembering certain things.
That was from months ago.
Yeah,
Hindi
that
siya
was months
recent.
ago, yeah. That was the last we heard from the ICC documentation. But I think our problem so far is we're relying on he said, she said kasi we're not getting any information from the ICC. I think it's also a privacy issue. So in the meantime, we're stuck with with information coming from partisan groups.
Sigurado ko lang, Ed, walang interim release.
Yun lang naman ang basis ng mga yung claims na yan about his health condition. It's a basis for the petition for interim release. So pag hindi pinayagan ng ICC, ibig sabihin wala siyang sakit na that will require his staying outside the ICC prison.
But it's also a very emotional issue, Boka. I mean, if they play it up like this and the ICC rejects the petition for interim release, baka maraming magalit. Because it is an emotional issue for...
naman magagalit.
Because it's an emotional issue for...
Kanina magagalit sa ICC, magagalit sila lang. Sige nga.
Actually, kasi yung physical, iba yung mental eh. Halimbawa, kung may sakit ako, gusto ko magpagamot sa ICC dahil advance yung medical facilities nila.
Yes. Of course, this is the Netherlands we're talking about.
Ibang usap kung ako ay depressed. Kung ako ay depressed, tatawagan ko si Manny Mogato para matanggal yung aking depression.
Kahit sa mental health, Europe is, I think, very advanced. Kahit sa mental health issues, kasi sabi nila cognitive decline, di ba? Napaka-advanced ng Europe. In fact, you go to Europe to get treatment for cognitive problems.
Exactly.
Pero kung dati ka presidente na sinasamba ka ng lahat, tapos nakulong ka ngayon, matidepress ka talaga. Diba?
Lahat naman na nakakulong, merong I'm sure nagsasabi. Sino ba natutuwang nakakulong?
Okay.
Exactly.
Let's coming back to something else. So, Vice President Duterte gave a short press conference after her budget hearing earlier today. Dinagdagan pa may bago na naman angle. She alleged that former House Speaker Martin Romualdez also received kickbacks from illegal gambling. Duterte says there have long been talks about cash deliveries in suitcases, and it's not odd. It wouldn't be odd for Romualdez to have done so, citing the Okada case. Remember a few years ago, there were also rumors of his involvement in the seizure of Okada, the casino in Parañaque.
Yung mga sources na yan, yung isang problema dyan, dahil wala naman nag-aabutan kasi ng diretsahan eh. Madali mong sabihin, anong malay ko kung saan galing yan? Di ba? In fact, yun ang defense doon kay Joel Villanueva. By his defender, Senator Bato, kung alam ni Senator Joel na yan ay for flood control, hindi na yan kukunin. Ang inintay kong denial hindi niya kinuha period. Ang sinabi lang, kung yan ay from flood control, hindi kukunin. Di ba?
May ganun nga, no?
Yan ang inintay ko basta hindi mo na lang kunin, bakit ka kukuha ng magkano? 100, nakakahilo, no? More than 100 million. You will not see that amount in your lifetime. Di-deliver sa'yo ng tapos cash pa.
Ninenervyos tuloy yung mga politiko ngayon magdala ng maleta.
So,
magdala ng mawa.
So maybe the big picture question here, Ronald, is where does this put the president, right? Obviously, Speaker Romualdez is his cousin, and hindi ba Senator Romualdez-Escudero is also allied with them somehow? And now these two are going at it.
Wala na siyang magagawa dyan, no? Mga ex na yan eh. Ex-speaker, ex-senate president. No holds barred na yan. Talagang open warfare na yan. Wala na yung pakundangan na durugan. No? Ikalawa ay, ang mahalaga, itong investigasyon dito sa corruption ay mag-prosper in terms of cases filed, assets frozen, no? Hanggat maaari. Sana soon may makitang makulong dahil plunder is non-bailable. Tingin ko ay makakabawas yan sa pressure sa presidente. Pero kung in the next few weeks walang mangyari, tingin ko very intense ang pressure sa presidente. Lalo na in some of the testimonies na implicate yung kanyang executive secretary. No? Implicate. Sabi, wala namang talagang solid na evidence pa. Pero ibig sabihin, palapit ng palapit sa kanya yung mga itong alleged na mga testimonies na ito. Kaya as soon as possible, kailangan magpakita niya ng resulta. Itong pag-resign ni Magalong doesn't help him anyway. No? Kaya mahalaga, itong ipapalit niya ay mapunuan yung vacuum na iiwanan ni Magalong.
Well, the ICI has already recommended, and it filed an initial report to the Ombudsman, no? Recommending the filing of cases against Congressman Zaldico and other DPWH officials over the flood control project in Oriental Mindoro. Is that good enough? That's a first step, no?
It's not good enough.
First batch.
Pero at least meron na silang pwedeng ipakita. O ito, may kaso. No? Kung may magsasampa ng kaso kay Martin Romualdez, di pwedeng ipakita nila. Pero ang balita ko, yung whistleblower na Marine, hindi pa nagpapakita sa NBI para magsampa ng kaso. So,
Si Orly Tessa.
wala ang kaso. Oo. So, tingin ko, hindi pwedeng Lone Ranger lang si Vince Dizon eh. Siya yung nag-freeze ng account, siya yung nagtatanggal, siya yung nagpa-file ng kaso. Kailangan ma-complement na ito. At hindi yan trabaho ng Blue Ribbon. Hindi naman yung Blue Ribbon na magsasampa ng kaso eh. They can propose, pero yung NBI or Ombudsman ang magsasampa. Kaya as quick as possible, kailangan na nila maglagay ng Ombudsman. ASAP. No?
May shortlist na ba? We don't have a shortlist pa rin, no?
Parang merong very, very short list.
Merong very short list. Sinong alam mo?
Merong very, very short list.
Just one person ba yan? One name ba yan?
Pinailan ng bagong kaso eh.
Ha? May alam si Ronald, ayaw sabihin.
Kaya kinakasuhan siya eh. Well, almost sure naman si Kwan eh. Almost sure naman, open secret naman yun. Almost sure naman si Boying Remulla.
Talaga?
Ayun lang nagsasampa ng kaso sa kanya. Parang hindi ka
He was
naniniwala.
dismissed.
Every week may bagong kaso eh.
Hindi pa na-dismiss na? It was...
Meron pang panibago, di ba?
Meron pa
Kaya
po
po yung Duterte.
Talaga? Almost yun na si Boying. Wouldn't it help the administration's credibility if they get somebody else instead of Boying?
Para mabilis-bilis.
Sino? Si Melvin Matibag?
Hindi naman.
Si Kim Henare? Sino gusto mo, Ed?
I'm just wondering, di ba? Wouldn't it help them just a bit if they get somebody else who is not that closely
Connected to
identified,
the admin.
Oo. Di ba? Tapos involved pa siya doon sa sa pagkuha kay Duterte. Di lalong
Reg,
mas maingay
Reg,
yung
Sabihin ko
Reg,
na.
parang sumisikip yung kuweba mo.
Oo nga eh.
Hindi mo masikip? Hindi mo masikip yung kuweba.
Sige na.
Get out of it, my cave. Okay, on that note, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining Storycon. I'm Ipo Mintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.